What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of E-Train Games, and today I'll be doing a top 20 video on my N64 games. So before I get started, it was very difficult to make a Nintendo 64 top 10. I have so many great games for the system. I love the system. I adore the system, and just so many great titles on it. I couldn't choose just 10. I had to do 20. So without further ado, I'll get started with my list. So I'll show you number 20. So number 20, you have a game here. It's called South Park Rally. Basically, it plays like a Mario Kart and Diddy Kong racing game. Not much to say. Ton of characters. I think it's up to 50 characters, 40 characters, 13 tracks. And just a side note, it was also one of the few games released that has the M rating, if you can see on the label. And basically, it just plays like a Mario Kart and Diddy Kong racing game. I think the power-ups, invincibility, and I think there's something else. So, not really much about this game. Only played a little bit here and there. But it's definitely fun if you want to try something different other than Mario Kart and Diddy Kong. Out of box, anywhere from $5 to $10, depending on label and shape. I unfortunately paid $10 for it, so it was kind of a bummer that I didn't get it before it went up, but no more than 10. M-box, anywhere up to 30 plus. Don't really know much about the box because I never really see a complete box. So that's number 20 on my list. So coming at number 19, we have a game here called Wave Race 64. It's one of the very few Nintendo 64 games ever released. So basically you choose between 3 different characters, and each one of them, their Kawasaki jet ski, has 3 different things. So one of them is good for speed, good for turning, good acceleration. Basically, you just race tracks. There's a time trial mode, and I think there's a championship mode, and I think there's something else. Out of box, no more than $5. Pretty cheap game. You can find this game anywhere. Inbox, anywhere 30 plus. And like I said, inbox, I don't really see them in boxes anymore, so it's kind of hard to say on price. Definitely a great game. Sat on my shelf for a very long time. But definitely a really awesome one if you like multiplayer. I think there's multiplayer mode in it, and that one's really fun as well. So Wave Race 64 is number 19. Okay. Coming number 18 on my list is Lego Racers. Definitely a game that not many people talk about at all, or even mentions it. So basically, you choose a character, or you can make your own character, and you can also make your own vehicle, which I like the best because I love making vehicles like in Need for Speed or something. So it's definitely something up my alley. So you make your car, make your character, and then you take that car and character, and you can go in championship mode and single races. And you, I think there's bosses in I think I'm not positive, but I think there's bosses, which is pretty interesting. And basically, you just play the game with your character. If you beat all the bosses, all the time trials, everything, if you beat everything in the whole game, you face the champion himself, the Ultimate Racer, who is actually on the front cover. He's the Ultimate Racer. His car is the fastest car in the whole game, and you get to face him. If you beat him, you get to unlock him, and you get to have his car. And I think you unlock Lego pieces for your car and stuff like that, so you can use his pieces, and I think there's other things. Out of box, no more than $5. Inbox goes anywhere from 30 to 40. I haven't seen anything past 40, so I'm assuming between 30 and 40. And it's definitely a fun game. I actually very enjoy it a lot. So this comes at number 18 on my list, and that would be Lego Racers. Coming in number 17 is a game called Blast Corps. This card is actually in very rough condition. I haven't been able to find a better one, so this will have to do for now. So basically, Blast Corps, you choose between, I think there's 7 different vehicles, and what happens is there's a missile going through this town. What you have to do is you have to destroy all the buildings, everything, cars, skyscrapers, houses, all kinds of stuff. And basically, you have to destroy it before the missile touches it, and if the missile touches it, it's basically game over, and you have to restart. And the levels change every time you restart, so you can't just go back to the same level and over again. They always change. Definitely a fun game. I think there's a multiplayer mode in it for high scoring-wise, but all I know, I don't really know anything else but that. Definitely a fun game for anybody. And complete in box, like I said, anywhere between 30 and 40. Haven't seen his complete in box yet. I only paid a couple bucks for mine because of the label and how destroyed it looks. I know out of box can go up to 10 depending on how the condition is, and definitely a fun game. I love destruction, I love blowing stuff up, so it's definitely a good game. So this comes at number 17 on my list. Okay. Coming at number 16 on my list is a game called NBA Hangtime. Now, a little bit before I start talking about this, Midway and Activision made a game for the Genesis Super Nintendo called NBA Jam, which I think everyone knows what NBA Jam is. Awesome arcade basketball game. Well, after NBA Jam and Tournament Edition came out, Midway and Activision split. Activision went to make their own. I think they made NBA Jam Extreme on PlayStation, NBA Hoops, and I think there's a couple other ones they made. And then Midway made their own versions called NBA Hangtime. Now, what happened was Activision had the rights to NBA Jam, so they kept the NBA Jam name, whereas Midway couldn't have the rights to NBA Jam, so they made their own. So, in all reality, I think this is the sequel to NBA Jam because it plays just like NBA Jam. There's no difference. The only difference is that you can make your characters, which is actually awesome because you can make your own characters and put them on any roster you want, and you can use that character, so which is actually really cool. So, and knowing me, I love playing NBA Jam arcade, and I had to have it when I saw it. So, this game, complete in box goes anywhere between $30-$40. Like I said, just a random estimate. I haven't seen it complete in box yet, and out of box, no more than 5. So, I'm trying to show you a little bit of the corner. If you can tell, no, you can't tell. The reason why this game, there's two different versions. The reason why I'm going like this, there's a little, you can't really tell on the thing. Down here at the corner, there was a misprint for the Nintendo symbol. Yeah, you can't tell. There's a misprint on the label and kind of into the cartridge on the corner, and you can't really tell. But basically, there was a misprint, and actually the misprint goes for a lot more money. Now, there isn't really may have been made, and there really isn't much information on them, which is actually surprising because there's a lot of information on other games that have problems. So, I've always tried to look to see if I can find it, and I can't see it on this because even if I wanted to, the label's all distorted and whatnot. But anyway, so at number excuse me, number 16 on my list, that's what NBA Hangtime. So coming number 15 is a game called Hot Wheels Turbo Racing. Now, as a kid, I loved Hot Wheels cars. I still have them somewhere in my basement somewhere. And basically, it just plays like Hot Wheels games. Basically, you pick a car. I think it's up to 30 cars, plus 2 or 3 cheat code unlockables. And you actually face all the best cars from 1978 to, I think, 98 or 99, something like that. And you play all the best cars that came out during those years. Now, it's not every single car from 1978 to 98. It's just the best ones. So, like, it'll go from, like, 79 to then to, like, 81. It's, like, all the best ones put together. And basically, you choose your car and you can race. The only bummer with this game is there's only 8 courses, I think. 6 to 8 courses, so it's not many. But basically, all the courses look like the old Hot Wheels tracks they used to buy at Walmart or Target or something. So, that was actually really cool. Complete box, I actually seen this one for 30. I haven't seen anything more than 30, but complete box is 30. Out of box, no more than 5. Definitely recommend it to people who like Hot Wheels or just racing games in general. There is power-ups. I think there's invincibility, and I think there's something else. So, definitely an awesome racer for anybody. So that's number 15 on my list, is Hot Wheels Turbo Racing. Coming in number 14 on my list is Bomberman 64. Now, I never really put much time into this game. The only time I ever put into this game was multiplayer, and the multiplayer is amazing. If you have 4 players, I highly recommend this to anybody. It's amazing. Basically, the whole game is like the whole board is a puzzle, and in that puzzle, the only thing you can do is drop bombs, Bomberman, and you're going on the board trying to corner your opponent in like back them up or throw the bomb down and run away and make sure they blow up into it, because that's the whole point of the game, is to try to kill all your opponents a certain amount of time, or just trying to get as many kills as you can within a time limit. So basically, that's how multiplayer works. I think you can make your own character in this one as well, which is actually pretty cool in multiplayer. There's a story mode to the game. I never really got into story modes. I don't know what it's about, but definitely an awesome game. Out of box, this game goes between 15 to 20, depending on the label. I actually paid 15 for mine, And inbox actually goes kind of pricey. It goes up anywhere between 60 to 100. So it's actually kind of more of one of the more pricier games. But definitely an awesome multiplayer game for anyone. So I recommend this to anybody who plays like GoldenEye or something. So definitely an awesome game. So that's number 14 on my list is Bomberman 64. Coming in number 13 on my list is Yoshi Story. Now, basically, Yoshi Story, if anyone who ever played Yoshi's Island on Super Nintendo, it basically is the same game. There's actually no difference, just that you don't have Baby Mario this time. It's just Yoshi, and you just basically try to save your island. Basically, what it is. You still throw eggs. You get collect all the fruit, and you face bosses at the end of the levels, and basically just plays the same thing as Yoshi Story, just without Baby Mario. So out of box, this game goes for anywhere between $10 to $15, and inbox actually goes up to over almost 100, which I've only seen that one time. It only sold for like 110 or so, so I've only seen that one time. So I'm assuming it probably goes up that high. But I got mine out of box for like I think it was 10 at the time. So the label's a little distorted. I don't know if you can tell on the thing. It's a little distorted, but it's not too terrible. I'll take it. So at number 13 is Yoshi Story. Coming in at number 12 is Ready to Rumble Boxing. Now, I like fighting games. I liked Mortal Kombat. What was the other games? Blaze Blue was another one. There's a couple other fighting games I liked. But one of the games that I adore when I was younger was Ready to Rumble Boxing. One of the memories I have, there was a certain character in here. I think it was Butcher Brown. I think it was my favorite character. I faced my uncle. I was only 6. He was like 25, almost 30. And he decided to face me, and I actually beat him with the one character. We chose 7 characters apiece, and I was able to beat him with one character left and beat all his characters. So I don't know if he let me win or not. I don't know. I probably will never find out. But you know, I still have a fond memory of playing this game and still remember that day. So, like I said, I'll probably never know if he actually let me win or I beat him. I'll never know. But it's definitely a fun memory for me. So basically, you choose a boxer of any type. It goes by weight, height, power, length, reach is another one, and size. So what you gotta do is there's a tournament mode, and if you face every single character in tournament mode, you get unlockable characters. I think there's a couple of hidden characters, and you can actually make your own character and make him play against all the other ones. So you can bring him into single player match, face him anybody, or you can do a championship mode, which I think is my favorite, and it's basically round robin. And then there's another mode in here called career mode, and basically you use your character and you earn power ups and as you keep progressing through the game, you get points to upgrade your reach or your power or your defense or how much you can agility back and forth. So it's definitely a fun game. For multiplayer sake, it only goes 2-player, which is actually a little upsetting because if it was 4-player, it would be actually pretty cool. It would be like Ready to Rumble or something on WWE, which would be pretty cool. But, you know, it's just one of those games that they couldn't add him in, which is actually kind of sad. They did make a sequel to this, and I think it was actually better, is what I was told, but I don't have the sequel. I think it's called Round 2 or something like that. So maybe one day I'll find it. But at number 11, Ready to Rumble Boxing. All right, coming at number 10 on my list is 1080 Snowboarding. Now, this was also another game that came out a long time ago. I think it was like one of the first ones or something like that. And basically, you go down a mountain in the beginning, and you choose, I think it was 7, 8 characters, something like that. And each one of them has their own specific board they use. And during the game, as you win races and tournaments and stuff, you can unlock more boards, and I think there's secret tracks as well. And I know there's a multiplayer mode for racing, and I think there's also a trick. I remember there's one where there's a giant jump, and you got to start at the top, and you go down. You do a jump, and as you do a jump, do as many tricks as you can until you hit the ground. That game was actually kind of hard. I remember so many hours trying to do all kinds of tricks, and I still couldn't figure it out. So, but it's definitely a fun snowboarding game. I enjoyed it. I have other friends who love this game as well, so definitely pick it up if you ever find it. So that's 1080 Snowboarding, and that comes number 10 on my list. Okay. Coming at number 9 on my list is San Francisco Rush Extreme Racing. This was one of the few games actually made by Atari. Atari was actually the developer of this game, and Midway published it. So, which is actually kind of cool to see Atari that was still around. You know, they were around during the 70s and whatnot, and 80s, and it was actually kind of cool to see them, you know, make another game. This game actually was in the arcades. I actually remember playing this at my local Walmart. I used to play this game all the time when I was in there, and I loved this game. And when I found out they made a Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64 version, I'm sorry, version of this game, I had to get it. So over the years, I found it, and they actually made a sequel, and I think there's actually a third one. I'm not sure, but I think there's a third one. So the first one, you choose all the cars are unlocked for you, and all the tracks are. So basically, you just got to win your races and win all the cars. I think there's actually There's a secret car, I think, and I think there's a secret track you get if you beat everything. I still haven't beaten this game. This game gets very hard at times. A lot of the turns and stuff get really sharp and whatnot, so it's very hard to lose first place within a matter of a second. So it's actually very hard. Recommend to anybody. I think there's only 2-player mode, which kind of sucks. There's only 4 players, but definitely a fun game. And that comes number 10 on my list, and it's San Francisco Rush. Okay. Coming at number 9 on my list is Super Smash Brothers. Now, I personally love Super Smash. I think the first one I ever played was Melee, and then I played Brawl. And when I found out the 64 had a version, I couldn't believe it. I was in complete shock, and I didn't know what to expect. So I decided to buy it one day, and I have to admit, it's it's not bad. It's not bad, but it could be a little better. But hey, it's a 1064. What you can do. So there's really not much I could say about it. I think everyone knows how Smash plays. There's really nothing to say. Go through levels, multiplayer. It's basically all the same. There's only a handful of characters instead of a whole bunch of the other ones. So that comes number 9 on my list, and it's Super Smash Brothers. I do have to say, though, this game goes very pricey. As a side note, this game, out of box, actually is $60. And in box goes anywhere from 200 plus. So this game is actually one of the more pricier games. Unfortunately, I actually paid $60 for it. Those actually, tell you the truth, it was actually worth it because I did put a lot of time into it. I actually got all the characters for the first time in a long time because I remember erasing it and playing it again, and I actually beat it again. So, see there. Yeah, okay. Sorry. So yes, that comes number 10 on my list, and that's Super Smash Brothers. Okay. So coming at number 9 on my list is Monster Truck Madness 64. Now, this was actually one of the first games made by Rockstar. They made actually racing games to begin with. They made a couple other ones, but the well-known that I know was Monster Truck Madness. Now, the first time I played this game was actually in a car lot. They had a kiosk, Nintendo 64 kiosk, and I decided one day to play it, and I was very hooked on it. I probably played it for a couple hours, at least, as my grandmother was looking at through cars. I was playing Monster Truck Madness. So basically, you choose I think up to 12 different monster trucks, and you do. It's basically racing. You race in you race in levels. I think there's a desert level, there's a water level. I think there's a mountain level. I'm not really sure the rest of them at this point, but the graphics are actually pretty good. Consider it being, I think it's a 97 release, so the graphics are very beautiful. The sounds are great. The damage is awesome. I love doing damage to other vehicles because it looks realistic. Out of box, it's no more than $5-6. Inbox, I have not seen an inbox, so I'm guessing probably like 20-30. Because I have not seen inbox one. Unfortunately, I actually paid I think 7 or 8. No, I think it was 10 actually for this one. Because this is almost a mint condition one, if you could tell by the label. It's also in mint condition, so it was actually worth it because it actually runs a lot smoother than I realized. So that number 9 is Monster Truck Madness 64. Okay. Coming in number 8 on my list is Mario Kart 64. Now, everyone knows Mario Kart. You know, I had to throw it up there. Between this one in Diddy Kong, it's hard. I've grew up with both of them, and I don't know which one's better. Um, but for Mario Kart, though, basically everyone knows Mario Kart is power ups, blue shells, green shells, red shells, bananas, mushrooms. Everyone knows Mario Kart. I don't know what else to say about it other than I beat the whole game finally after all these years. It's just fun times with friends or my family members. So it's the only reason why I still keep it around. But that's number 8 on my list, and it's Mario Kart 64. Coming at number 6 is Diddy Kong Racing. I'm sorry about that little label. I couldn't get it off. It won't come off. But so like I said, same thing. It's hard to choose between both of them, but I think Diddy Kong Racing takes it a little more, just because of the way they set up the races. It's almost a free roam, and you can choose from 3 different vehicles. Where Mario Kart 64 was just choose your character and you race that cup, and that was it. Uh, so like I said, this one only takes it by a little bit just because of those couple reasons. Um, there really isn't much to say about it other than that's basically the same thing as Mario Kart. Collect balloons and then bananas and coins first bosses, and that's basically it. There's a little storyline to it, which is actually pretty cool. I won't bore you with the whole storyline, but there's a storyline to it, and that comes number 6 on my list, and it's Diddy Kong Racing. Okay. All right, so top 5. Okay, so top 5 was actually very difficult out of this whole list, and I didn't know what else to do, so I just picked 5 games that I remember that I enjoyed the most out of or had a great time with. So I'll do top 5. So like I said, this one was really hard, and I'll show you number 5, and it's really hard to swallow a lot of these because some of them should deserve top 5, others shouldn't. Some should be higher, some should be lower. So, but I'll quit boring you and I'll show you my top 5. So at number 5 comes F-Zero X for 1064. Now, I'm sorry about the label. It is messed up, as you can tell. It got water damage and I think it's sun damage. I'm actually currently looking for a replacement label right now. So basically, F-Zero, I think everybody's played F-Zero. It's basically a racing game. It's a futuristic racer. There's 16 racers on a track, and use a certain character like Blue Falcon. I think everyone knows who Blue Falcon is. Blue Falcon is his car, and Captain Falcon is the racer. So Captain Falcon, I forget the other ones at this moment, but so basically you choose a racer, and every single vehicle has something they're good at. Some good steering, rate, speed, and acceleration. I think there's a boosting, I think, as well. And every single one of them has a certain rank: A rank, B rank, D rank, and I think there's C rank, D rank, and I think there's E rank for the worst. So it's A through E, and depending on each one is what they're good at and what they're bad at and what they're okay at. So 16 racers on a track. The races are super fast. Like if you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna die within the first 10 seconds. So it's actually a very hard racer. I think it's actually better than the one on the GameCube, just because I put more time into this one, and I like this one a lot better. Out of box, this game goes for $10 to $15, and I think in box goes anywhere up to $90 to $100. The only one I've ever seen was sold for $90, $95 on eBay. I haven't seen anything more than that. But yeah, it's definitely a fun racer. I think there's a 4-player mode, but I'm not completely sure. But I think there's 4 players, and definitely a good game for anybody who likes a different type of genre racing. This is more like futuristic, super fast racing. So it comes to number 5 on my list, and it's F-Zero X. So coming at number 4 on my list is a game called NFL Blitz. And yeah, I do know. My name's not Tyler, by the way. It won't come off no matter what I do. So I'm just going to leave it there for now. So anyway, NFL Blitz plays like a normal football game. Basically, you choose a team. And out of that team, it chooses, I think, 7 or 8 players that were the best of their time. So this game came out, I think, in 97 or 98. So it has the 97, 98 rosters on them. And it has every single team and who was their superstar of that team. And basically, you just play football. But the thing is, there's no refs and there's no rules. So you can do whatever you want, throw the ball, run the ball. You can basically do whatever you want. There is cheat codes for it, and basically there's not really much to say other than that you can do whatever you want, and it's football. It's just basically football without any rules. Uh, it was an awesome game. I think I have the PlayStation 1 version of this game. I do. And to tell you the truth, I think the 64 version is better, just because the controls are more tight and the PlayStation feels kind of sloppy. Um, so out of box, this game is actually worth $10, and in box goes up to $50. And I've actually seen it go for 50, and I think they are going up actually a little more now. Um, Out of box, I actually paid a couple bucks because I found it at a yard sale, and I only paid like $3, I think. So kind of a steal. So I'm really happy. It plays great. Just for the name, I want to get off, but it won't come off. But number four, because NFL Blitz. All right. So at third is actually going to shock a lot of people. Just because this game isn't really well known a lot to people, and just because it's kind of obscure and nobody really knows what this is. So at number three comes Mace: The Dark Age. Now, basically, this game is a 2D fighter. It plays like Street Fighter in a way, kind of. So basically, there is 12 characters, and each character uses a certain weapon. Like Lord Demos, who's on the front, he uses a giant long sword. Someone uses nunchucks. Someone uses a pole. One of them has like two axes, like wielding axes. I can't remember the other ones. One of them has a giant axe. One of them has a sword and shield. Another one's a samurai. Just stuff like that. And basically, you fight all the characters. And there's kind of a storyline to it in a way, but there isn't really much there. It's just a somewhat of a storyline. Which kind of sucks because I think it could actually make a good storyline out of this. But every single character has a secret moves to them, and they have normal moves. Normal moves like jump kick, high kick, punch left and right. They can use their weapons, whatever they have. And some of them actually have magic weapons, so they can shoot electricity, water. I think one of them does fire and earth, and I think there's wind or ice or something like that. And it's actually pretty cool. This game, like I said, is very obscure. I don't see anybody ever mention this on their list. And so I'm only taking a guess. I paid $5 for mine, so I wouldn't expect any more than 10 for this one. And complete in box, to tell you the truth, I have not seen this complete in box, so I don't know what to say. I would probably say no more than 30, maybe 50, or maybe even more. I don't know. I haven't seen it complete in box yet, so just taking a random estimate guess. So at number three is Mace: The Dark Age. Anybody who likes fighting games, I think they should pick this up. I recommend this to anybody. I've put in a lot of time into this one, and it's an awesome, awesome game. Just because of all the secret moves. There's a lot of secret moves I'm still learning, and just because of all like the sounds and stuff, and the storyline kind of somewhat plays in a little into it, facing everyone. So I definitely recommend anybody. So at number three is Mace: The Dark Age. Okay. Coming at number two on my list, like I said, this one's going to shock a lot of people, just because of what it is. Not many people really played it. I played it a lot as a kid, and to this day, I still play it a lot more than most of my games. And I'll show you right now. So number two on my list is Hydro Thunder. Now, anyone who's known this game or known me knows that I'm a huge Hydro Thunder fanatic. Even just talking about it, I have no words. So basically, there's nine boats, and each boat has a certain class. There's 3 boats that are easy, 3 boats are medium, 3 boats are hard. And if you beat the whole game, you beat all, I think there's 14, 15 tracks, something like that, 13, something like that, some tracks. You beat them all, you get 4 hidden boats, and all 4 of them are basically, they're just called bonus boats, but each one of them has their own different thing. Like, some of them are good at speed, other ones are good at turning. You know what I mean. So basically, you race through the whole game. It's from point to point. So you start at one position, and you go to one end, and that's it. And you basically try to do as fast as you can in a time limit, and each single one gets harder. So the first 3 levels get third, second, or first. Medium is only second and first, and then hard, you have to get first only. So basically it gets harder, progressively harder, and the boat choice get harder and harder because every single level gets harder and harder. So your boat choices, you have to think on, okay, is this one good for this one, or should I do something else? There is boosts in the game to help you, but if you don't know where they are, if you can't reach them, that's going to hurt. So if you miss a boost, it's going to hurt pretty bad. And I just, like I said, I recommend this to anybody. There's actually two different variants of this. There's actually a blue variant and a gray variant. The blue variant, at a box, is actually worth $20, $25. Luckily, I only paid $15 for mine. I got lucky with mine. For the gray variant, can go up to 40 plus. I don't know why that's the case. I think it's because people were looking for Hydro Thunder, and I think the company ran out or something, so they made more, and they came out with the gray variant, and that one goes for a lot more money. Complete in box for the blue one goes from, I think, anywhere between 80 to 100, and the gray one can go 200 plus. I've only seen the blue one, complete in box on eBay, go for, I think, 180, and that's only because it was sealed. I don't know how much the gray variant goes because I've not seen that complete yet. But like I said, anyone who's ever played racing games, play Hydro Thunder. You won't regret it. I actually still play this game to this day, and I just love this game. And like I said, anyone who's a friend of me knows that I love Hydro Thunder. So I beg of you, please pick this up when you can. So that's number 2 on my list. Okay, so number 1 on my list, after all this, I'm kind of tired. So number 1, is probably a game that everyone probably already knows. It's probably going to be number 1, and that's Mario 64. I only put this in number 1 because when I first played, this was the very first Nintendo 64 game I ever played in my life. The very first game I ever played was this game. I still remember what level it was. It was the water level, with the pyramids, and you had to hit the certain little multicolor pyramid things. I forget, the diamonds, I think. And you had to hit them where the water changes up and down. That was literally the first level I ever played, and this was the first game I ever played, and I think it was about 6 or 7. Everyone knows how Mario games work. They Bowser steals the princess, go in and save her. That's about it. So everyone knows how this game plays. Everyone's probably seen it multiple times. But this is number 1 on my list just because it's the very first game I ever played and just because of all the nostalgia purposes. I have beaten the game. I have all 120 stars. And I think I have another one that's has 90. And I think there's the other 2 have like 60 or 70. So I'm almost could beat the whole game on every single file. So which is actually pretty cool. But this comes at number 1 on my list. Complete in box goes anywhere from 150 plus, which I've seen before. And out of box is actually, to tell you the truth, actually gone up in price. I've actually seen this game go anywhere from $30 up to $60. So it kind of just depends on the label. The label on mine's a little distorted. Actually, I got mine for nothing. It was actually given to me as a present. So, so I didn't have to pay anything for it. But I've seen this game recently gone up in price. But it's definitely a great game. Like I said, probably everyone's probably ever played it, but people haven't played it yet. I advise you to play it. It's an awesome Mario game, and trust me, you won't have a problem with this game. So that comes on number 1 on my list, and it's Mario 64. So that's it, guys. So that's my top 20 Nintendo 64 games. I just noticed the time of my recording, and oh my word, I'm surprised it's this long. I'll make this quick. That's my top 20, and I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I'm just getting over being sick, so I should be done being sick in a couple days or so. So I thank you for watching my video. I hope you still watch. I don't know if you guys are still watching or not. Probably not. But if you guys are still watching, I thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye, everybody.